Okay, we'll start standing on the long side of our mat this morning and find ourselves centered. So what I want you to do is to make sure that your feet are firmly rooted into the mat, spreading your toes wide, finding alignment from your heel through your hip, through your shoulder, extending your spine nice and tall, opening up the chest, slight tension between your shoulder blades, and allow your arms to rest to the side. And we'll begin to find our breath here. Eyes can be closed. And imagine with that breath that you're pulling energy up from the earth through your feet, your legs, your hips, your chest, into your shoulders and out the crown of your head and down from the crown of the head to the shoulders, the chest, the hips, the legs, and out the toes. So begin to just breathe that energy in all the way up the spine, out the crown of the head, and back down. Pay attention to what you're bringing to the class today. Maybe some tension, a little bit of nervousness, maybe some stress. And then set an intention for how you want to show up today on the mat and for your day. Maybe with strength or courage, endurance, maybe just getting through the class. Okay, on our next big inhale, we'll inhale with the arms all the way up and lace the fingertips together and press up, palms towards the ceiling, and see if you can pull some space in between each of your ribs and space between each vertebrae in your spine. Now let's take our right elbow and press it towards the ceiling, stretching out the entire right side of our body, clear into the hip. Inhaling and exhaling, and then reverse it. And let's put our left elbow towards the ceiling, pressing our hands up, pulling space into each rib. Then release it and press it up, keeping your legs straight with your spine flat, coming forward to a forward fold. And then just pause a moment here, finding your breath, straightening your legs, and imagine lifting each bone, your sitting bones, the two sitting bones, up as high as you can get them towards the ceiling, and you should feel a nice stretch all along the back of your leg. Okay, bend your knees to a squat. Inhale to stand, and we'll try that one more time. Okay, let's reach up. Space in between each vertebrae in our spine, flat spine, forward fold, keeping that spine flat, hinging from the hip, straightening the legs. And you might have a slight bend in your legs, or you might come a little bit farther forward to get to the floor. Find what's working for your body. Now take those two sitting bones and lift them up towards the ceiling. Remembering that breath. Okay, release it to a squat. And inhale to stand. Okay, this time we're going to have our legs out a little bit farther and work a little on goddess pose. So your knees and your feet go in the same direction. Your hips are pressed forward, your glutes are tucked tight, and your arms come down, squared up here. And then we'll come down to squat. See how nice and low we can get, and we'll pause here in goddess pose. start warming up these leg muscles. And then we'll push up, inhaling, pull down, exhaling. And while you're here, make sure that your torso is nice and tall, your chest is open, those arms are square. Remembering that breath. Okay, inhale, pushing up. Exhale, pulling down. A little bit deeper this time. See if you can come a little bit farther down. You should start feeling some burning in these legs. Pushing up, inhaling, pulling down, exhaling. Okay, we'll take 8 of these. Inhale up, exhale down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, we'll pause at the bottom. Really work on those legs here. Breathing gently, pushing up. Okay, wide leg, we'll come to a forward fold with our wide legs. So move your toes a little bit closer to the front. Flat spine, hinging from the hips, coming forward into a wide leg fold. Take a few nice breaths here. Probably start feeling some heat building, your heart rate increasing. Let's lean to the right side. Create a nice stretch on the inside of the left leg. Okay, reverse it. Let's lean to the left. Stretch out the inside of that right leg. And let's do 8 of these. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Come to the center, forward fold, and lift those sitting bones up as high as you can get them. Really stretch out the back of those legs. A lot of tightness and tension builds in the backs of our thighs. Okay, flat spine, hinging to stand. Coming back to goddess. Okay, we'll take some goddess poses here with some alternatives. So we'll touch our elbow to our knee. So tap and release. Tap opposite, release. 8 of these. Right to left, left to right. 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and release it. Shake it out a little bit. Give your legs a little break, and we'll come back to goddess. And we'll work on tapping or touching our right arm out, our left leg out. Is that what we just did? No, we're going to go out. So right arm, left leg. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Goddess. Left arm, right leg. Goddess. Right, left, goddess. Left, right, goddess. 4 more. Keep that lunge deep. 2 more. And come back to goddess, hold it, and come up, release it. This last goddess series, we'll do elbow to knee, or we already did that. We'll do toes to fingertips. Okay, come back to goddess. Inhale, tap, opposites, goddess. Tap, 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Back to goddess and hold goddess deep as you can get it. and release. Now let's shake it out. We'll take a little bit, come back to our standing. Let's do some rotations into the neck while we get our heart rate back down. So left ear, left shoulder. Create space between our right ear, right shoulder. Really stretch that out. Getting your breath back. I can tell it's been a minute since I did a yoga class. Right ear, right shoulder. Stretch the left. And then let's take our chin to our chest. Stretching out the back of our neck. And release it. Interlace our fingers, press them forward. Really stretch out that space between our shoulder blades. And then lace them behind our back. And I'll turn here so you can see behind the back. Press those palms together, straight leg, and we'll do a forward fold with our arms behind us. Really trying to get slow to the mat as you can. And release. And let's work on a forward fold, straight arms. Arms up, forward fold. And we'll do leg lifts here. So try and line your fingertips up with your toes. Might have a slight bend in your knees, or you might bring those arms out a little bit farther forward, depending on the flexibility in your body. So let's lift our right leg from a forward fold. Inhale, lift this right leg, and we really want to push that right knee as high as you can get it. Push the right foot up as high as you can get it. And then be careful that you don't let this hip open up. Want to keep those hips parallel to the floor. Really pushing it up, remembering the breath. Don't forget to breathe here. Now let's push it up a little bit higher and take a couple of breaths. And release it to stand. And then press our hands into our shin to kind of ease up some of that tension a little bit. Always lifting those sitting bones high to the sky. And then come back to a forward fold. Line the fingertips and the toes up, close as you can get it. And we'll lift our left leg. So take that left leg up and lift it as high as we can get it here. Keeping both hips parallel to the mat. Trying to straighten that right leg as straight as we can get it. Remembering that breath. Inhale slow and steady. Push it up a little bit higher. Straighten the right leg a little bit straighter. And release. Okay, coming back up to a half lift. Pressing into the shins. Check to see that your elbows are tucked close to the side of your body. Sitting bones pushing up towards the ceiling. Really pressing in to your shin. And let's take one more round, lifting our right leg, then our left leg. Okay, hands back to the mat. Let's take this right leg and push it up. Inhale, lift. Trying to get a little bit more stretch here. Stretching out the back of the left leg. Straightening it as much as possible. Trying to press our palms into the mat. Keep these elbows tucked close. And lift that right knee a little bit higher. Keep the hips parallel to the floor. One more breath and release. And let's take the left leg up. Actually, let's come up to a half lift. Take a little breather here. Work on the arms. Press those palms into the shins. Straight leg, lifting the sitting bones. Inhale and exhale to a forward fold again. Last time we'll lift the left leg. Inhale, lift the left leg, hips parallel to the floor, trying to shoot that left leg straight up toward the ceiling. Straightening our right leg, tucking the elbows close to our body, pressing the palms into the mat. Push it up a little bit higher this time. A little higher, and release. Back to a half lift. In a forward fold. And from our forward fold here, we're going to drop our right leg to the back of the mat. So push that right leg to the back of the mat, and we'll come into a high lunge here. Trying to get our palms to the mat. Drop that heel as close as you can get it, the right heel stretching to the mat, as close as you can get it. You can rock forward and back, getting a little bit more stretch in there, keeping these muscles nice and warm. And then step the right foot between the hands, and we'll take that left foot back. Inhale, take the left foot to the back of the mat, and we're in a lunge on the opposite side. So drop the left heel to the mat, rock forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. And then step the right foot between the legs. And let's press our hands closer to the front of the mat. And we'll take our right foot back and our left foot back, and we'll find ourselves in a plank. Okay, so we'll just stay in plank for a minute, trying to keep these wrists below the elbows, directly below the shoulder. Now press your hips down a little bit lower and tuck the elbows tighter in, facing the wall behind you. And we'll just breathe here in plank for a moment. Pull your navel in close to your spine. And we'll open up to a side plank. So keeping the feet together, opening up to the side. And if you need to, you're welcome to drop that left leg to help a little bit with the balance. Otherwise, you can keep it straight in this plank. And if you'd like to, open that arm up to a full side plank. And if you're interested, gaze up over those right fingertips. Keeping the navel tucked tight to the spine. And release, back to plank. And let's do a down dog here and release some of that tension. Lifting those hips up, stretching the arms out. Maybe dropping the heels, pedaling them back and forth. Back to our down dog. And then come back to plank. So we're lowering the hips, creating a straight line with our torso and our legs. Tuck the navel close to the spine. And let's open up into side plank on the left side. Find your balance here. And again, if you need to drop that knee to the mat to help with balance, you're welcome to do that. If you're interested, raise the left arm, creating a nice straight line from fingertip to fingertip. And one more step, gaze up over the left fingertips. Always remembering that breath, keep yourself breathing. One more breath here, and we'll release it and come back to our down dog. With our down dog, let's try and press our heels to the mat. Our arms are straight. Lift the hips up. See if we can bring our head into the space between our elbows. Holding the strength here. And then if you'd like to, try coming in a little bit farther. And my shoulders are very flexible, so my down dog may look a lot different than yours. And release. And let's come into a table pose, so drop your knees. Place your palms under your elbows, under your shoulders. And we'll do some cat-cow. So as we're making ourselves smaller, so tucking in, we're exhaling as we open up, we're inhaling. The movement in cat-cow does not come from the low spine, it comes from the mid to upper back. So inhale, and we'll come into cow, and pull your chest in between your arms, really push that chest forward, lift the chin, tilt the head back. Inhale, and then on the exhale, we'll reverse it, bringing that chin into the chest, pulling up the space between our shoulders, really tucking our navel tight to our spine. And inhale back to cow. Press the chest in between the arms, open up, and then exhale, back to cat. And then come to a neutral table pose, and we'll work on some bird dog poses here. We'll take our right arm forward, our left leg back. So inhale, right arm comes straight forward, left leg comes straight back. And you want to keep a straight line from our fingertips to our toes. Tuck that navel in nice and tight. One more breath here and release. Let's work on keeping those elbows tucked in tight so that we're building up some tricep resistance here. Inhale, left arm, right leg, straight line. Push those fingertips to the wall in front of you and push the toes to the wall behind you. Pull the navel in to the spine. Taking slow, steady breaths. Really work on strengthening into the back of the upper arm and release. So let's take a cat-cow, lift and lower. And this time we're going to push our right arm up and our left foot up. Inhale, push this right arm up as high as you can get it, and the left leg up as high as you can get it. So really try and push that left knee up. Tuck the navel in, and then push it up about an inch higher and release. Take it to a cat-cow, release the tension. Same thing, left arm, right leg. Inhale, lift. Push it up a little bit higher here. Push that elbow higher. Tuck the navel into the spine. One more breath and release. Cat-cow. Release some tension here in the back. This time our right arm goes out, our left knee goes out. Inhale, right arm out to the side, left knee out to the side, and you can try and straighten this left leg, which makes the work a little bit more intense. One more breath and release. Back to a cat-cow. And our last series on our bird dog is left arm out, right leg out. Inhale, left arm out, right leg out. And you can straighten this left leg or the right leg. One more breath and release. Cat-cow. And then let's come into forearm plank. So bring your forearms to the mat, extend your legs out and lower the hips, and we'll do leg lift here. Inhale, right leg lift. Tuck that navel in close to the spine. Should feel some strengthening in your arms, core, legs. Exhale. And drop the knees. Stretch it back into an extended baby. And then come back to forearm plank. Straighten the legs. And lift the left leg. Inhale, lift. Trying to create a nice straight line here. Pull the navel into the spine. Remembering the breath. And release it. Knees to the mat. Extend the arms out here. And then we'll settle our hips right in between our heels and lower our forehead to the mat for an extended baby pose. Now let's take our palms and bring them to the sides of our feet. Palms are up, and allow gravity to completely soften your body into the pose. One more breath here. And then we'll come up to our knees. Working a little bit on opening the chest. So bring your knees hip distance apart. Extend the spine nice and tall. And your pelvis is pushed forward. Your glutes are tucked in. Chest is open, and we're going to place our palms into our back pocket. So inhale to grow the spine nice and tall. Open up the chest. Bring the hands, the palms around to the back pockets. Slide them down into the back pockets. And now let's push into the back pockets, pressing our hips forward, squeezing our glutes, squeezing the space between our shoulder blades, trying to get these elbows closer together, lifting the chin. I'm trying to find a real nice, soft breath here. Complete steadiness. Okay, release it. Bring the torso straight. Hands out of the pockets. Shake them out. And you can work on that form of camel, or we'll go a little bit farther back and reach back towards the heel this time. So again, same thing. We're on our knees. Our spine is tall. Hips are pressed forward. Glutes are tucked in. Inhale as we lift our hands, bring them to the back. And if you're ready, reaching back, both arms together to find the heels. And then you can lift the chest and the head, pressing up towards the ceiling. And release. And then bring the arms forward into extended puppy. So really push those arms forward and lift the hips up. Stretching here. And then we'll return to a seated position. Legs are straight, coming straight out. And we'll work on a very simple pose, but it's quite dynamic when you put all of the pieces together. So our legs are straight out in front of us. And I'll go through all the parts of the body, and then we'll hold the pose for 1 minute after we get situated in there. So our legs are straight, our heels are flexed, our kneecaps are being pulled up toward the thigh, our sitting bones are even, balanced onto the mat. Sometimes you need to pull the skin out a little bit from side to side to get them. Pelvic floors are lifted like an elevator up to the top floor. Navel tucked into the spine. Spine is tall. Chest is open. Face is forward neutral. And the palms are barely resting onto the mat. And we'll hold this for 1 minute, and I'll go through all the components of the pose again. We really want to get the most benefit out of this. So back to the feet, toes are towards the ceiling, ankles flexed, legs are straight. Really press the calves into the mat, press the thighs into the mat. Pull your kneecaps toward the thigh, lift the pelvic floor up, tuck the navel to the spine so your core is engaged nice and tight. Lengthen the spine tall. Open the chest, pressing it forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Face is neutral. And then work on your breath. Trying to get as much softness in the muscles in the face as you possibly can while you're holding this pose. Almost as if the skin on your face is just draped over the structures, the bone structures of the face. And then coming forward, we'll release it. Okay, shake out the legs a little bit and we'll work on a forward fold into this pose. And this might be where you want to use a strap. And if you have a strap, you can place it around your feet, which will help you pull yourselves a little bit forward, farther forward. And if you don't need it, you don't have to use it, but it really is a good aid to help. Okay, forward fold, we'll take our spine nice and tall. Our chest is open. Inhaling, reaching the arms straight up, flexing from the hip with a flat spine. So we don't want to come over like this. We want to have the flexion come from the hip, so we're coming forward this way as we reach forward. And if you need some help knowing if you're flexing from the hip, place your thumbs into that hip joint and see if you can pinch your thumb so your chest lies flat over the mat. Okay, so inhaling, reaching up, flat spine, flexing yourself forward with a flat spine. See how that line is nice and straight? And then lay the chest as close to the legs as you can. And if you're using the strap, take that strap, trying to keep the spine flat, pull yourself forward. Again, trying to get the chest flat to the legs. And if you're supported with your arms to your legs or to the mat, you can go ahead and round yourself into the pose. And try and find softness here. Okay, let's inhale and come out of it, flat spine. And we return back to our staff pose. So we're sitting nice and tall, nice and straight. And we'll do it one more time and we'll hold it for a minute. So inhale, reaching up, flat spine, keeping a straight line from your hips to your fingertips, hinging from the hip joint, reaching forward, and you can grab your strap and then bring your chest as flat to the mat as you can. Sometimes you might find your knees coming up and bending a little bit. So try and keep them as straight as possible, knowing that if you're just working on this flexibility, you might have a bend in your knees and you might notice that there's more of a bend in your spine. And we'll hold this for a minute. And while we have a little bit of quiet here as we're holding this pose, consider again the intention that you set for your class. Check into how your body is feeling and the difference that you feel mid-class compared to before class. Really trying to find softness. You'll notice with each exhale that you're able to come even just a millimeter farther into the pose. A lot of our flexibility is physical, but a surprisingly large part of it is mental. And if you can just allow your body to relax and find comfort, you'll be able to come into the pose a little bit farther. Okay, let's take a big inhale and we'll come out of the pose. Okay, let's press the soles of our feet together and pull our heels in as close as we can get them to our body. And we'll work on a butterfly pose. So trying to keep your spine tall, take your elbows and press into your knees with your elbows. And you can bring your torso farther forward as you press into your knees. Really opening up into the hip here. And let's release it. Coming back up. Taking another inhale, exhale, coming forward, really pressing down. Really stretching out those hip joints. And if you'd like to tuck your chin into your chest and notice how the stretch changes. Okay, nice. Okay, take our left leg straight forward and we'll keep this right foot close to the body. And if you'd like to, you can pull it in a little bit farther. So we really want to keep the left leg straight and we'll do a forward fold, a half forward fold. So we only have one leg out this time. And you want to line up the center of your chest directly over the knee. And then keep both shoulders parallel to the floor as they come down. You'll notice that you want to open up, but you really want to keep these shoulders down. So inhale, reaching up, hinging from the hip with a flat spine, coming forward. And again, your strap might be really helpful for you. So just grab that strap, pull yourself a little bit farther into it, and check to see if the center of your chest is lined up over your knee and both of your shoulders parallel to the floor. Don't let this right shoulder raise. Keep it nice, parallel to the floor. Again, we'll hold this for several breaths. With each exhale, imagine yourself releasing tension and allowing yourself, your body to come a little bit farther into the pose. Let's take one more nice deep breath and come out of the pose on the next inhale. Okay, this time we're going to take our left shoulder to the inside of our left knee and we'll open up to the side, stretching into the entire right side. So bring this left elbow forward, right arm reaches up and over, and we're stretching into the right side, the right rib cage, the right hip. Now notice what your navel's doing. See if it's tucked into the spine. And then with each exhale, see if you can come a little bit farther into the pose. One more breath here and release it. Coming back up. Now let's take our right leg, cross it over the left, keeping the knee up. And we'll work on a spinal twist. And always on our spinal twist, we want to stabilize the spine, grow it nice and tall before we do any lateral movement to protect it. So let's put our fingertips to our chin, our thumb to our chest, and keeping our chin aligned with our chest like this keeps the stretch in the upper back. And then we'll release it and do a little more stretching into the lower back. Inhale, and on the exhale, twist to the right side, keeping the chin and the chest lined up, really trying to push this right elbow back, trying to line the chest up with the long side of the mat. Okay, we'll release it. Take the right hand to the mat, and now take your left elbow, hook it over the left or the right knee, and then we can gaze over this right shoulder, really stretching into the entire length of the spine, pushing our chin over this right shoulder, softening in the breath, and release it. Okay, keeping the left foot on top of, or the right foot on top of the left thigh, pull it in a little bit tighter here, and we'll press the right knee down. And we'll find another stretch a little bit deeper into the hip joint here. And pull it up. Again, we're keeping the spine nice and tall. Now let's press the knee down. Okay, we're going to do a rock the baby. And the baby is the shin, the calf of our leg. The foot is the head, the knee is the feet. And we're going to try and cradle the baby. So it might look different for you. I've got some good flexibility in my hips, and so I can fully cradle, but you might not be able to get your arm all the way around your foot. And if not, just place your hand onto your foot. But if you can pull that in a little bit closer to your chest, keeping a tall spine, not hunching over, we want to keep it nice and tall. Bring the head of the baby into the crook of the left elbow, wrapping the right arm around the right knee. And you can just hold that baby nice and tight to your chest. Keep your spine tall, your chest open. And then we can begin to rock this baby just a little bit, moving it from side to side. And you'll feel some real good stretching into that right hip. And as it's warming up, you can rock it a little bit farther and a little bit faster. And with each movement, relaxing into that hip joint. So listen to your body and notice how tight your body wants to keep this hip. So it's a lot of mental work here to allow the hip to relax and loosen up. We always want to work to an edge where you'll find discomfort and work, never to pain. So if you find one area of sharp pain, always stop. Actually, any area of pain. But general discomfort and work is fine. Okay, pull that baby in one more time, close to our chest, lift our spine tall, and then relax. And we'll work on the opposite leg. So straighten those legs out. You can shake them out a little bit. Pull the left foot in, closer to the body, and readjust your sitting bones so that they're both equally balanced on the mat. Bring the left heel close to the body. Spine is tall, chest is open. We're inhaling, reaching up. We're going to lay the center of our chest over the right knee, reaching forward with a flat spine. And if you'd like to, grab your strap and pull your chest a little bit closer to the knee, flexing that heel. And find yourself supported with your hands or your legs or your arms. And once you have some support for your spine, then you can allow yourself to soften a little bit into the pose. We want to keep both of our shoulders parallel to the mat. Our breathing is steady. And we'll release, inhaling to come out of it. And we'll try this one more time. Okay, so extend the spine, open the chest, hinge from the hip, reaching up, coming forward, centering our chest over the knee, checking to see if our shoulders are parallel to the floor. We don't want to lift one side or the other. We want to keep them parallel. Trying to lay this chest nice and straight over the knee. Finding that breath to allow yourself to relax. See if the muscles on your face are soft or if you're finding tension in your jaw or your brow, just allow it to relax. And one last breath, inhaling to come out of the pose. Take the left foot, place it onto the right thigh, press the knee down, and pull it up, and press it down, and pull it up. And now we'll rock the baby. Actually, I think we're going to come into the spinal twist first. So cross the left leg over. Your left knee is up, chest is open, spine is tall, fingertips to chin, thumb to the center of the chest. And let's push the left elbow to the back, trying to open up our chest to the long side of the mat. And continuing, dropping the left arm, taking the right elbow to the outside of the left knee, creating that resistance between the elbow and the knee to push our spine a little farther back. And then we can gaze over this left shoulder, really stretching into the neck, finding that steady breath. And release. Okay, we'll rock the baby on this side. So let's lift this leg up. First of all, make sure that your sitting bones are square to the mat. Spine is tall, not hunching over. We want to keep it tall. And let's lift the baby here. Take the left foot into the right elbow. See if you can wrap that around. Or if it's more comfortable or better for your body, just grab it with your hand. And then the left elbow comes around the left knee and lift the baby's head up a little bit higher. Make sure your spine is nice and tall, so lift your spine a little bit higher and then pull that baby in close to your chest. Really using the breath to soften and relax and release. Lifting that baby's head. Let's start to gently rock the baby side to side. And as you notice that hip joint loosening up a little bit, you can make the rocking a little bit farther, a little bit faster. And allow that hip to loosen up. Just rocking from side to side here. Stretching into the hip. Okay, press it into the chest one more time, and then release it back to the floor and stretch it out. Nice good stretch here. Okay, we'll lie onto our back and do a little bit of work here before we do our last final relaxation. Okay, square those hips up to the mat. Legs are down. And we'll come back to Shavasana later at the end of class, but let me explain Shavasana for you. It's called corpse pose. Literally like a corpse, you're allowing gravity to completely control your body. Your feet are rested, probably tilted out towards the outside. Palms are up, away from the body. And you're allowing every single muscle, joint, ligament in your body to completely relax and allow gravity to let you just drape over the mat. Let's bring our knees into our chest. And relax a little bit into the low spine here. And lift our chin to our chest. And then bring our heels to the mat as close to our body as we can get them. And we'll wrap our hands around each ankle here. So you might need to do a little bit of adjusting. Make sure you're squared up to the mat, and we'll do heel dips, which will open up the front of our thigh so that we can do some work with bridge poses. Okay, we'll drop our right knee to the floor and then gaze over our right shoulder. Taking a few breaths here, really stretching into the front of our right thigh. Press that knee down a little bit farther. Inhale to release. And then our left leg goes down. We gaze over the left shoulder. And you'll notice in 2 or 3 of these how much the front of your thigh opens up and relaxes. Few breaths. And release. Right knee, right shoulder. Notice how much farther this leg goes down this time. Now intentionally let that leg just soften. Sometimes it's easier to focus on softening the muscles in the face, and then the body follows. You press the right knee down a little bit farther. Release it. Okay, our left knee comes down, gazing over the left. Notice a little bit of tightness here. Now soften those muscles in your face. Now soften the muscles in the leg and the hip. And press that knee a little bit farther down. Release it. Right leg, right shoulder. And notice you're coming into these poses farther each time. Left knee, left shoulder. And we'll do one more right side. And one more left side. We'll take our fingertips to the heel. And we'll do a series of bridge poses. The first bridge pose we'll focus on getting our hips as high into the air as we can. And then I'll work through all the different components of it once we're in the air. So we're just lifting our hips up. Inhale, pressing our hips up. Okay. Once our hips are up, we want to make sure that our navel is tucked into our spine. And you can lift that pelvic floor like an elevator up toward the navel. Your glutes are squeezing. And you can roll from side to side and see if you can get those shoulders a little bit closer together. And now that we're in this nice form of the pose, let's push those hips up a little bit higher. So you can probably push them up another inch or 2. And then really work on squeezing those glutes tight. And allowing the breath to come in and slowly release. Okay, coming out of this pose, we're going to come out of it very, very slowly, keeping those muscles engaged all the way down. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And if you feel like you need to relax some tension in your spine, you can pull those knees back into your chest. Nice deep breath here. And then fingertips to heels one more time. This time we'll work on our arms as we come up. So we'll lift our hips as high as we can get them, and then we'll work through our arms as we get up. Okay. Inhale, lift the hips as high as you can get them. Tuck that navel in. Squeeze the shoulders a little bit closer together. You can roll side to side to do this. Now take your palm and so your fingertips are right to the back of your heels. Take your palm and press your palm into the mat as hard as you can push it as you lift the hips as high as you can get them. So I'll bet you can lift your hips another inch and then press down as hard as you can with your arms. Really dynamic here with your arms. Breathing, soften those muscles in the face, press down harder, lift up higher, and then release really, really slow. Always bringing that breath back in. You should feel some nice fatigue in your muscles at this point. Okay, if you need to, another knee press to release some of that tension that we just created in the back. Fingertips to heels. And this time we'll work on our feet. So we're going to add all the components together, the height, pressing the hands down, and then we'll work on the feet. Fingertips to heels. Inhale as you push up. High as you can get those hips. Now roll from side to side to kind of get those shoulders a little bit closer together. Press the palms into the mat as hard as you can get them. Remember, keep those hips high. Now press the feet into the mat, and you'll notice your glutes tightening up and a little bit more height coming into the pose. So lifting the hips, tight, 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 squeezing the glutes, navel into the spine, palms pressed to the mat, soles of the feet pressed to the mat. Push up a little bit higher, and we'll come down as slow as we possibly can. With the breath, releasing, coming down slowly. See how soft your face muscles are. Try and relax them. Okay, we can do a knee press again. And then I think I'll try a bridge pose, or you can work one more time on, or I'll do a wheel pose. You can try one more time on a bridge. And I wouldn't recommend a wheel pose unless you're very confident in getting up. And I'm also happy to help you privately do work to get up to a wheel pose. So we'll take our fingertips to our heels one more time. And you can choose whatever you wish to focus on with your bridge pose. And I'm going to take my hands, my fingertips to my shoulder tips. I come up into a wheel pose and hold it. So find whatever form of this pose works for you. And on your own, you can inhale and come up into the pose. Inhale, lift into the pose. Pushing those hips up higher, really getting some nice height in them. Pressing the palms into the mat. Pressing the feet into the mat. Relaxing the muscles on the face. And when you're ready, you can come out of the pose very, very slowly. And then one more knee press. And we'll release completely into Shavasana, or corpse pose for the final relaxation. You can completely relax here. Palms are up. The entire weight of your body is supported by the earth here. This meditation, we'll do it kind of quickly today, but this is something that you can focus on with each part of your body for several minutes. And you might notice that when you feel tension or stress or anxiety, that your body is also nice and tense and anxious and a little bit more rigid. And most of the time we think that we have to calm our mind to calm our body, but the opposite is actually true. We calm the body to calm the mind. And I'd like to just teach a technique really quickly to do that. So you're lying in your Shavasana, or you can also choose a seated cross-legged position like I'm in. This just works better for me to teach it if I'm sitting up. Eyes are closed. We're really concentrating on the breath. Inhaling through the nostril, exhaling through the nostril, allowing the eyes to rest completely in the socket. And adjusting any last movements that you need or scratching that needs to happen. So you can settle yourself completely still for the next 4 or 5 minutes. In your mind's eye, imagine the earth full of energy, energy that can relax and soften and comfort. And imagine that you can use the breath to bring that energy into your body and spread that energy to the very fingertips and ends of your toes, completely relaxing the body using only the breath. And we'll start with our right arm. In your mind's eye, imagine inhaling that soft, comforting energy into the right arm. And on the exhale, pushing that energy from the shoulder clear through the fingertips, softening every muscle and ligament and tendon in your arm. Inhaling the energy, exhaling to push the energy from your shoulder out to your fingertips. Inhaling, exhaling, allowing the earth, the floor, the mat to completely support the weight of your arm. And notice as you're breathing, your heart rate slowing down, your body relaxing, and a general sense of well-being coming into your body. On our next inhale, we'll imagine inhaling that energy into the left arm, completely filling the left arm from the shoulder to the fingertips with comfort, softness, relaxation, ease, and exhaling to push that softness from the shoulder through the arm and out the fingertips. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Muscles on the face are soft. Eyes are resting in their sockets. Inhaling the energy, exhaling to push the energy to the arms. And notice the relaxation in your arms, the feeling of complete comfort. Now with the energy of the breath, inhale the soft energy into your torso, from your neck to your hips, completely filling the torso and chest cavity, the soft, gentle energy, and exhaling that energy from the neck to the chest and hips. Inhaling deeply, softly. And notice the relaxation in your arms and in your chest. Complete comfort. With the next inhale, bring the softening energy into your right leg. Inhaling completely and exhaling, pushing that energy clear through the hips, the thigh, the knee, the calf, the ankle, the toes, as you flood your right leg with the relaxing energy. Inhaling, filling your right leg completely, and exhaling to push that energy from your hip through your leg and out your toes. Feeling a heaviness, a relaxation in your entire right leg. Let's focus on our left leg. Inhale the energy into the entire left leg. That nice, soft, comfortable, restful energy into the left leg. And exhaling it from the left hip, through the thigh, the knee, the calf, the ankle, the foot, the toes. Inhaling to completely fill the left leg. Exhaling to push the energy throughout the entire left leg. Now in your mind's eye, imagine the entire form of your body, from your head to your toes, as one complete unit, working as a symphony to carry you through your day. And inhale the softness to your entire body, from your head to toes. And as you exhale, push that energy from your head through your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your chest, your stomach, your hips, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, foot, and toes. Inhaling to completely fill the body. Exhaling to push that energy through the entire body. Allowing the earth to completely support the weight of the body. And for the next few breaths, contemplate your intention for class today. And contemplate your intention for your week. How do you want to show up? And imagine yourself showing up in that way. Now take a final few breaths and begin to bring small movement back into your body. Your fingertips and toes, your wrists and ankles, your arms and legs, reaching up over your head and stretching, maybe rolling from side to side, bringing life and movement back into your body. And when you're ready, roll to your side to fetal position before raising and returning into comfortable cross-leg position with your wrists resting gently on your knees. Your next inhale, bringing your hands to heart center. I offer gratitude for joining me today in class and for your friendship. And my wish for you today is ease. Ease in the way you show up, in the way you think, in the way you behave. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I hope you feel a nice relaxation, a nice comfort, softness. As always, send me a message if there's something you want me to add to a class, and I can put it around exactly what you're looking for. So thanks. Go ahead and have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you on Thursday.